Sam, this way.
The trilogy might be over, but Nathan Drake is back for one last adventure in Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, this time being written and directed by Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann, the duo behind The Last of Us. So, is it worth it? Let's find out. Uncharted 4 is a game that knows it doesn't need to exist. Over the course of 4 years and 3 games, protagonist Nathan Drake changed from a reckless adventurer to a man haunted by the consequences of his ambition. His arch was completed. But in many ways, that's what makes this latest entry so engaging, an acknowledgement of being pushed past its prime, the awareness of the risks and challenges of continuing a narrative well after its obvious conclusion. Yes, Uncharted 4 is a game that doesn't need to exist, but its blistering visuals, enthralling story, and fully fleshed out multiplayer make this sequel as exceptional as its predecessors. Taking place a few years after his last adventure, players see a far more domesticated Nathan Drake, working a steady job and enjoying his marriage with Elaine Fisher. Life by all accounts is good, but his desire to explore still persists despite his vow to abandon his previous line of work. But when Drake's long-lost older brother Sam returns after 15 years, pleading for his help on a treasure hunt, he reluctantly agrees. Now going up against a former partner and his personal army of mercenaries, Nathan must protect his brother and himself from repeating the cycle of death and destruction that comes with seeking ancient treasures. This all might sound contrived, but Uncharted 4's story is the best in the series yet, thanks to its earnest treatment of the characters. Drake is well aware of the tragic possibilities, while Sam is obsessed by his first true adventure. In many ways, Sam serves as an avatar for the audience, encouraging and enabling Nathan to pursue dangerous escapades. All of this is brought to light by the veteran voice cast including series mainstays Nolan North, Emily Rose, and Richard McGonigal, as well as Sam, expertly played by Troy Baker, and the delightfully disengaged villain Rafi, played by Warren Cole. The superb voice acting combined with stunning lifelike facial animations and smartly blocked motion capture make for some of the best performances ever seen in a video game. While there are still plenty of small meandering segments of the story, Uncharted 4's well-written characters and understandable motivations keep the plot engaging over the course of the 14-hour campaign. Most of the franchise's gameplay elements remain largely intact, with a mix of climbing-based platforming, chaotic shootouts, and enormous set-piece moments. But a number of exciting additions help diversify the game's pacing. Throughout the campaign, Drake will stumble upon a number of heavily guarded environments, with the choice to either engage in a traditional firefight or stealthily pick off enemies one by one. Informative icons make it easy to keep track of how close Nathan is to getting caught, though I still encountered a few strange instances of being discovered while completely hidden. Marking enemies is meant to make traveling undetected easier, but the unchanging visual representation of a triangle does little to inform players. Frustrations aside, these welcome stealth options offer a more strategic approach to combat encounters. Unfortunately, Uncharted shooting is still underwhelming, with awkward controls and bullet-resilient enemies. The game's arsenal of pistols, machine guns, shotguns, and explosive projectiles each come with their own unique reticle, none of which precisely detail a bullet's destination. Cover becomes a major issue as the button to activate it also causes Drake to roll on the ground. I often found myself leaping when I meant to duck, and ducking when I meant to leap. Frankly, Uncharted's gunplay feels loose and dated. Thankfully, the series' scaling sequences managed to incorporate their new mechanics in a far more organic way. Drake's new rope hook allows him to swing and climb to his destination, while the climbing pick grants the ability to carve directly into specific walls in between reachable ledges. These new features add an enjoyable level of depth and help freshen up the climbing events, with some of the later challenges providing some of the best gameplay in Uncharted 4. Perhaps the most underutilized new feature are the vehicles. At particular points in the campaign, Drake will get behind the wheel of a speedboat and jeep to explore a sizable open environment. There's not much here in terms of urgency, but casually roaming the exotic landscape is surprisingly enjoyable. But of course, Uncharted's most memorable moments take place during the franchise's blockbuster set-piece events, featuring large-scale destruction, fast, intense encounters, and insanely risky stunts. Without spoiling the exact details, these stages challenge players to quickly adapt to their ever-changing circumstances and surroundings by overcoming and embracing the breakneck speed and bombastic thrills of a widespread catastrophe. These sequences are far more linear than the rest of Uncharted's gameplay, something that becomes disappointingly obvious should you need to retry an event. But the devilishly crafted scenarios in conjunction with the fidelity provided by the PlayStation 4 create an unmatched level of spectacle. Much of this is largely due to Uncharted's absolutely incredible graphics engine and art design. Drake and his crew will travel across the globe to vastly different locations, each of which are fully realized and deliver a potent sense of place. From the gorgeous lighting of a humble attic to the disorienting barrage of rain in a tropical storm, Naughty Dog has once again achieved the best graphics ever seen on a console. In some ways, the art and design are almost too good, as I occasionally found myself clueless to my next objective due to the outrageous amount of detail and attention provided to even the most unimportant of areas. Yes, it's really that good. Multiplayer also makes a return, and the results are fantastic. Variations of online staples Team Deathmatch, Domination, and a version of Capture the Flag featuring a tossable relic are merged with the parkour and melee attacks of the campaign. Strangely enough, the core mechanics actually perform better in these modes, with a constant on-screen reticle making shooting far more reliable and an enhanced performance of 60 frames per second. With an impressive arsenal of unlockable weapons, perks, and AI-controlled allies, Uncharted's multiplayer is a highly enjoyable and surprisingly deep inclusion. So, is it worth it? Yes. Creating a sequel to a beloved trilogy is an ill-advised endeavor, and yet Uncharted 4 expands the narrative without betraying the character's previous developments. It's unfortunate the campaign's shooting can't keep up with the otherwise polished set of mechanics, but the thrilling set pieces, thoughtfully designed parkour, and refreshing stealth events more than make up for its shortcomings. Combined with the best graphics of the generation so far and a unique set of multiplayer options, Uncharted 4 is an easy recommendation. It's a sequel that didn't need to exist, but the result is an experience that feels vital, and an appropriate ending to one of last generation's most celebrated series. Uncharted 4 is currently available on the PlayStation 4 for $60. If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on picking it up. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'll see you in the next video.